In this video, I'll show you how to improve your timing when playing lead guitar. Hey, John here, and this is your Tuesday Blues lesson number 370. Premium members have access to a bonus video with slow note-for-note instruction for this example solo, along with interactive sound slice tab player and tab downloads. If you're not already a member, you can find out how to join at the link in the description. But we're going to go over the first two licks and arm you with an extremely effective technique for improving your timing while playing lead. Let's start by learning the main groove and the first two licks. This piece is in 6/8 time, and if you're not familiar with that time signature, I recommend just scratching along to a 6 count with your guitar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and make sure that you're counting out loud. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And for bonus points, tap your foot right along to that beat. We really want to feel the pulse. That's what this whole groove is hanging on. And we're going to build a rhythm part right on top of that pulse. And it's going to come from this G minor shape, right? Here's a whole big 6-string bar chord, but we're just going to use the G here on the 4th string, 5th fret, and then bar across strings 3, 2, and 1 at the 3rd fret. That gives us the B flat, D, and G. And the only other thing we're going to do is reach back, and you'll see when it comes up in a second when we do it, but we're going to reach back to the F on the 3rd fret, 4th string. Really cool note to incorporate. That's the minor 7. It gives us a real bluesy vibe. So we've got this when we put this rhythm figure into our 6/8 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 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 1. All right, so what we're doing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and. All right, so on that last little bit, on the and of 5, we go down to that F, and then back up for beat 6, and back down for the and of 6. So if we slow that down, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1. All right, and what we're going to do is then place 2 licks, and we're going to weave them into that rhythm figure. We'll get to that a little bit later, but let's cover the licks first. The first lick starts here on the G 2nd string, 8th fret. And what we're going to do is play that on the and of 5. Then for beat 6 to the B flat, that's the 11th fret, playing it with my little finger here on the 2nd string, and then back down to the G for the and of 6. So just this little sequence is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and. All right, we follow that up starting on beat 1. Remember, we count to 6 and then flip back over to 1. That's 6/8 time. And we're going to play the C, 1st string, 8th fret, up to the D, 10th fret, then come up to the B at the 11th fret, down in pitch, up in direction. So we're doing that B flat and then down to the G. Then we're going to slide that down to the 6th fret. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now, the next lick is very similar to this. As a matter of fact, we start out the same. But once we get here to the G, we come back up to the B flat, and then up to the C and hold it. It kind of answers what we set up as a call in the previous lick. 5 and 6, 7. There's lick 1. lick 2. Now that we've got the parts, the goal is to be able to switch between them without missing a beat. So we tend to get laser focused on playing a great lead and moving around the fretboard with these soaring solos, and that's really important to be focused in that way, but you really want to widen your focus just enough to be aware of the music that you're playing over. And this technique will really help with that. Having a reliable timekeeper to practice to is key, whether that's a metronome or something with a little more soul in it like this beat. So the idea here is to switch back and forth between the groove and a lick and come back in time. The most critical part of all of this is where you're coming out of the lick. Where's that downbeat, right? It's an easy beat to find if you're paying attention. And one way to help you kind of develop that awareness is to play along with a track like this, because you can just feel that big kick drum coming around. And the best tip that I have for you when it comes to nailing that and sticking the landing is to simply count out loud. Even if you've got a drum beat going, it really helps to vocalize what's happening. So you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you find this difficult, if it's troublesome for you to be able to switch back and forth while counting out loud between the rhythm part and the lead part, then this is a telltale sign that it's something you probably need to work on in your playing. This is something to take to the woodshed and take this exercise with you. You don't have to necessarily play it at the speed that I'm playing it. You can slow things down, but make sure that you find a comfortable tempo for you, count out loud, and make sure that you're coming back in right when you need to. And make sure that in this particular part, this hits really nicely, really hard and present on the 4 count. That's when the snare would be there. If you're playing it to a drum track, you're going to hear it, you're going to feel it. And I do recommend practicing this with a drum track if you have one available. Still count out loud. To get the most from this exercise, start by switching back and forth between the rhythm and a lick, just 1 bar each, and then gradually expand your lead to 2 bars, and then 3, and then ultimately incorporate the chord changes over the course of an entire progression. This will help you develop longer solos that are deeply connected to the groove and the chord changes, and it really helps to know the notes to target when you're moving through the bars like this. And there's a video right over here that can help you with that. I'll see you over there. Until then, practice smart and play on.